Happy Tuesday. Welcome to TMW Online, the Melanated Way. I'm Linda. I usually say that's Abby, but Abby is not here, and I wanted to catch up. So we're going to do Season 5, Episode 11, and Season 5, Episode 12 of The Single Life, The Art of Dragging, and The Art of the Slow Fade. And I'm just going to catch us up. So I haven't run solo, but I mean, the Single Life solo, it kind of makes sense right now. And Abby and I will be back later on this week, catching you all up. So we're going to just get started. Shout out to the live chat. Hey, Olivia. Hey, Silver Linings. Hey, girls. Hey. Jumping into Gino and Natalie, her twin. We found out that she had a twin. I think they must be fraternal twins because I just didn't see it. Joslo said, hey girl, is this the last episode? I'm not watching. It's not the last episode. There's one more episode and then there's the tell-all. So we're almost there. And Abby and I will be covering all of the new seasons of all of the 90-day spinoffs. So don't you worry, you guys, we're in there. And I guess before I get started, shout out to everyone that has reached out to me. It's been a little overwhelming. And if I get back to you a little late, I really appreciate all the love and support with the whole Netflix thing, covering 90 Day and the clips that you guys saw of my interview. I really appreciate it. I had no idea. So you can imagine my surprise that, hey, I'm on Netflix. But yeah, I appreciate all the support over the years, you guys. You guys have been amazing. So that being said, Gino and Natalie are going to the strip club because he's going to unleash the beast. I have a hard time believing that because it's Gino. And he feels like when they get intimate, it's going to be better than the first time. He's going to throw off his hat. You guys, when he said that, I died of laughter because please. You can barely. That's all I'll say. You can barely. The hat is not covering the eggplant. So I don't think that that's the issue. But so they are going to go to, hey, Radella, they are going to go out with the family. And he's calling it a strip club. But you guys, I've been to Hamburger Mary's and I'm going to show you guys a clip. We've had like such an amazing time there and just like good times. And one of the things that I thought that I was going to add, and let me see if I could do it real quickly. I think it's this one. Yep. So I'll show you guys this and that one shortly too. So they're going to go to Hamburger Mary's and it's like a drag queen brunch. It's so much fun. Music, the food, the drinking, the whole thing. It's so much fun. And I actually went with someone that I met through the Melanated Way. She's actually Canadian. She came out to California and we just had a good old time. So they're meeting Bella and Nick, and Natalie really wants Gino to get to, like really familiar and comfortable with her family because she's very close to her family. And Nick's not into it. They show up in West Hollywood and Nick is like, yeah, I'm not really feeling this. You know, Natalie makes poor choices when it comes to relationships. And this just seems like another bad choice. So they go to Hamburger Mary's drag show, and if you see here, that is me and my friend Megan, who is also a 90-dayer. And we had an amazing time, you guys. It's so much fun. If you ever get the opportunity to go to Hamburger Mary's drag brunch, do it. I highly recommend it. And one of the people that we saw was one of the people that we saw on the show is one of the people that I saw in real life. And I want to show this without the music. So give me a minute because I know how YouTube is. So here. Oh, I know. I'll put the sound down. So what was so fun about that, and I took the sound down because, the music, copyright and all of that, but what was so fun about that is that all of the performers, they came up to us, and so I had like great videography. Just call me a videographer. So yes, super fun. And that's where Gino and Natalie were, and I'm sure that they had a great time. And one of the things I think is interesting is that Gino talks about how Natalie brings him out of his comfort zone, and he loves that about her. And the thing is, Gino, you're 56 years old. You should really know who you are by this time. I mean, you're closer to 60 and like peaking and, towards end of life than beginning of life, where you should have already done the work to know who you are as a person. But no, that's what we don't get from Gino. We get like, that's when I talk about, that nervous energy I feel like he has. That's what it is all the time. It's that nervous, like, I don't know who I am, and I'm gonna like and be everyone's problem. That's totally Gino. Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's some type of work going on in front of my apartment, and it's annoying. Can you guys hear that? Olivia says, yeah, he's so unsure about himself. And Jocelyn says, oh my God, I love your dress. Thank you. It's one of my favorites. Give me a summer dress any day, Joslo. Give me a summer dress any day. So at the Hamburger Mary's, Bella doesn't show up because she does not like Gino whatsoever. She has seen him. She is not impressed by him. She's not impressed by the fight that Natalie and Gino got into with Jasmine. Just absolutely not. So she's like, you know what? I've never seen my mom happy before. She's always been with liars, cheaters, toxic men. And Gino seems to be one of these type of men. So he's going to really have to do something in order to win her over, which we already know he doesn't do, right? Because nothing about Gino is charismatic or gives anything but, I want to say loser, but is that mean to say? So Bella doesn't like him. And so Natalie calls Bella after the show, and her daughter, which I just really appreciate the fact that the daughter was able to tell her exactly how she feels, and said, I love you, but I can't stand by and watch you embarrass yourself by associating with such a troll like Gino. And why are you extending grace to him after he disrespected you in Michigan? You're too beautiful. You're too smart. You're too successful to be such a spineless loser like him. And she hangs up the phone. And you guys, when I saw this is the face that he made after he heard Bella said all of that stuff. I died of laughter, you guys, because first of all, doesn't he look like, isn't there a cartoon? And you guys, you know how bad I am, but there's a green character cartoon. I think it's as in Monster Inc. And he reminds me of that character, and he looks ridiculous. But listen, Bella read him for the filth that he is, period, full stop. And this picture is the definition of outrageous. Can you imagine, you guys? Look at him. I just can't. I can't, He brings 0.0 vibes. Olivia is like, dark for sure. So after she hangs up, Gino's like, whoa. And then, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but when Gino gets dragged, I notice it with anytime he was fighting with Jasmine, his voice goes up like 10 octaves and it becomes all whiny. Have you guys noticed that? So in his whiny voice, he's like, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. And I just, everything about that just is wrong to me. So Natalie's upset that her daughter's upset, and she really does want Bella's blessing for this relationship. But you guys, I don't know what she sees in Gino. She keeps saying that her and Gino have a connection. I don't know what that connection looks like for her, but I just don't see it. Right. And I told you guys at the top of this season that it sounded more to me like, hey, let me be on a show. Let me get my face out there. That versus, do you really want to be with this guy? Because you look more high value and he looks like you wouldn't even give him the time of day. But what am I? So they go to like a outside patio and there's like a fire pit, the whole thing. And you guys, did you notice the blanket situation? So they pull out these blankets and Gino, do you guys remember when Tim was on, it wasn't The Last Resort, it was like it was one of the 90 days, but Tim, he wrapped the towel around like a female would wrap the towel around rather than around his waist. That's the same thing that I saw with Gino, where he took this blanket and like wrapped it around himself. He wasn't even sharing it with Natalie. He was wrapping around like a cocoon. And I got to tell you, that's a sign. You know, when there's that that true crime show, Evil Lives Here, there had been signs. That's a sign. I want you women to pay attention to the signs. Sometimes they're subtle, but they tell you everything you need to know. I follow this one relationship guy, and he is so funny on Instagram, you guys. And he said, ask a guy to check his nails, right? Just be like, check your nails. And if he checks his nails like this, or if he checks his nails like this, they mean different things. All right, let me stop. So Natalie's so upset that her daughter Bella does not like the situation that she decides that she's not going to stay at Gino's hotel anymore, and she's going to go and check on Bella and talk about how she feels about this relationship. So she leaves the hotel, and one of the things I also noticed is that she packed up all her stuff. Gino didn't help her pack. Gino didn't want to have a conversation. Gino didn't even walk her out. He didn't walk her out. He just let her leave. I think that that's so ungentlemanly. It's disgusting to me. And then he, instead of like self-reflecting on, ooh, why did I make such a bad first impression on this woman? He's like, oh, I need a drink. He pulls out whiskey and Gatorade. Is that a thing? Because you guys, I was disgusted. Give me a whiskey neat all day. But with Gatorade, who does that? Who does that? Who does? I mean, ridiculous. So he is back from LA. He's back in Michigan, and he's been back for a couple of weeks now. And he's playing basketball. And I started laughing because you guys, apparently has a basketball court in his home, and I didn't believe it for 1 minute, but apparently that's what he does, and he's terrible at it. He did get a couple in. He got a couple in the rim. I'll give him that, but I just don't picture athleticism and Gino together. And if you guys do, let me know in the live chat or let me know in the replay. I just don't see it. But he is psyching himself up for a video call that he has with Natalie. And they haven't talked much in the few weeks that he's been back. All because Bella doesn't like him, right? I need you guys to keep that in the back of your mind. And they have this video call, and Natalie's like, I should have probably never forced this on our situation because we're a new relationship. I shouldn't have introduced you to my family quite yet until our relationship had some grounding. And I 100% agree with that, you guys. If you're in a single world and you have children, even if they're grown children, don't invite these randoms into your lives. If you guys are not solid, like, hey, we're about to get engaged or we're about to like make some next level stuff, there's no point of introducing them to your family because it makes no sense. First of all, you barely were in a relationship with Gino last week. This fool has run amok on you and you're barely taking him back, and now you're forcing family to meet this guy. Like, what are we even talking about? So it didn't go well. And she's like, yeah, our relationship was just getting started. It was too soon. Heed those words, you guys. It is too soon. Don't invite randoms into your life if you don't know this is going to be something long term. I don't stand for it. I don't stand for it at all. And even if you don't have kids, don't get so enmeshed in losers, because there's so many out there, you guys. There's so many out there. 2026 is full of, like, you got to remember my saying, it's a needle in a stack of needles, and you got to sort through that. You got to sort through it. Don't waste your time on going all the extra steps if you're not sure that this is going to be something long term. It's just not worth all the effort and energy and heartbreak. But Natalie is still optimistic. She's still like, you know what? If you put in a real effort and you show that you're serious about this relationship, you're willing to put in the work, you're willing to be a different man than you've shown up to be, then I'm sure that Bella is going to come around. Now, here's the plot twist. Gino says to Natalie, Gino, this guy right here, says to Natalie, who's already out of his league, that ever since LA, he feels like they should just be friends. And she's confused, like I was confused. And she's like, oh, so you're breaking off the boyfriend-girlfriend situation? And he says, yes, I don't think that's for us. And when I tell you that my notes say this is all his ego, first of all, Gino has a fragile ego, right? Men in general have fragile egos, but if they have no confidence, it's even more fragile. And Gino is that guy. Gino can't take rejection. Gino can't take confrontation. Gino can't take correction. Gino doesn't want to face any issues about himself, because that would mean he would have to self-reflect and actually do the work. And this guy that you see on your screen right now, this guy right here, he doesn't want to do any of the works. He's 56 years old. He wants to just show up as who he is, which is trash. Okay? Trash individual, not a full-grown man, even though he's 56. Doesn't want to do the work. And so instead of confronting his issues, and you guys, he has a lot of issues. Okay? He has a lot of issues. Okay, he first tried to show up as a sugar daddy with no sugar. Then he tried to act like he's like a beast in the bed, but he has erectile dysfunction disorder. He doesn't know how to communicate. He can't take any type of feedback because, again, he doesn't want to do the work. And so he runs. And so can you imagine? Here's this woman that's shown up for you twice now after you even disrespected her, gave you a second chance. You showed up just with yourself. You showed up, no like apologies, no gifts, no nothing. You just show up and you expect her to sleep with you. You expect her to show up for you. You expect her to be your girlfriend. And the first opportunity that someone has to show you who you are, then you run away. I was so disgusted by this, you guys. It was absolutely ridiculous. So, thanks for the follow, Joslo. Love. My note literally says, I have no energy for this. He's the worst. And she says that she's done with mediocre men. She lowered her bar and even lowered it more for Gino. And now look what happens. Gino breaks up with her. So you know that Gino's going to go around and tell people that he broke up with her, right? You guys know that, right? Terrible. Moving on from Gino, Vanya and Tony. Tony's another. Did anyone find out what type of doctor Tony is? Because I got to tell you, I still don't believe it, and no one has been able to tell me what type of doctor he is, because he exhibits low value incel behavior. He does. And I am actually having a really hard time believing that he's had all these women and he's some type of gigolo. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it because I'm seeing his behavior on this show, and his behavior on this show is quite terrible. So They're fighting. They go to a dance class and they're fighting over dancing. And his argument is, I agreed to go to the dance class with you. I didn't agree to be social after the dance class. Which, can you imagine, you guys? Okay, so you take a dance class, they teach you all the lessons, and then they give you free reign after the class to practice everything you learned and to socialize. What do you mean you didn't agree to be social? What? So he's mad that she is dancing with, quote, random guys, and he sees it a form of cheating. Now, if that is not insecure male behavior, I don't know what is. So she goes to the dance class with you, she learns dancing, and then she wants to practice with you after. And then you don't want to practice with her, you just want to leave because you have no rhythm. And I got to tell you guys something. Come closer. A man that has no rhythm literally has no rhythm in other areas as well. I just want to let you know that. So he wants to leave, but she's a dancer. She's shown up as a dancer. You've known her as a friend as a dancer. So she's going to want to dance. So she wants to dance with you first. You say, no, I want to leave. I don't want to be social. So she finds someone else to dance with, to practice the moves that they just learned. And you want to say that that's a form of cheating because you're in a new relationship with her? Sounds like a you problem. Sounds like an insecurity problem. Sounds like you're not a real man problem. Sounds like you're controlling problem. Sounds like you don't have like to have fun problems. Sounds like you want to isolate this woman and take her shine away from her, knowing that she's shown up as a dancer. I hate that for her, and I hate that for us as women. They know exactly who you are. Just because they have their own insecurities doesn't mean that you have to bring that BS into your life. That's trash. So, she's not impressed. She says, you know what? You should trust me. I'm a dancer and you didn't want to dance and you're being insecure. And then he says to her, and I want to know, you guys, how you feel about this statement. Please talk to me about it in the chat. Talk to me about it in the replay. Talk to me in my DMs, whatever, because I'm really curious. He says her behavior by dancing with someone else at a dance class is not appropriate for a new relationship. How do you feel about that? Because that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. That to me sounds like you're insecure, and you're insecure because you know that you're not on the same level as Vanya. Whether you're a doctor or not, you're not on the same level as her. So you're trying to bring her down some rungs and make her feel less than herself because you know that you're not at the same level as her, at the very least in your security about who you are as a person. You can say what you want about Vanya, but she's secure in who she is. She represents who she is 100%. And this guy says to her that her dancing in a dance class with a different man is inappropriate because she's in a new relationship. And I want to know how you guys feel about that because I've never heard anything so ridiculous in my life at all. Well, I have, but this is at the top as well. So he then goes to say, not only is it not appropriate, but he blames her dancing by saying she's been single for so long and that she does things, quote, her own way, that she doesn't know how to compromise. Now, if you guys read the underlying part of that, first of all, she's been single for so long. What does that mean? You've been single as well. So you're saying what? She's single and she's a strong woman, and she has opinions and she's successful and, quote, she does things her own way because she can support herself and be self-sufficient, and now she doesn't know how to compromise. And compromise, he means be the traditional woman who just listens to what the man says. And if the man says, no, you can't dance, then you're supposed to not dance. If the man says you can't socialize, you're supposed to not socialize. Because that sounds crazy to me. I know we're in 2026 and they're trying to rob women of all of the advances that they've made, but absolutely not. especially for some insecure people. Yes, Joslo, that's crazy, stupid, and insecure. Exactly. What you're not about to do is you're not about to make yourself little because the man you're with is insecure. That's trash. Never do that. Never do that, you guys. Never, because you'll regret it. You'll resent him, and he'll resent you because he sees your shine and he is going to try to dim that shine. Never be with someone who wants to do that to you. So she's like done. She's done. And she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna call an Uber and I'm leaving. And she's worried because she has a trip planned with her cousin to go to Europe for 2 weeks. And he's like, okay, well, enjoy yourself and we'll see how it works out when you get back. And she's like, is that a threat? Are you threatening to break up with me? Because now I'm going to go on a trip and you can't handle me dancing. So you can't imagine what's going to happen when I go on a trip with my cousin. She thinks it's controlling and she thinks he's insecure. And I could not agree with her more. I can't agree with her more. So, it's the next day. She has packed and she's going to the airport. And even though they're fighting, he has agreed to drive her to the airport. And you guys, this is, again, I'm trying to figure out what type of doctor Tony is. Because I've been talking all this season, like these t-shirts that he wears these like scrub t-shirts. It looks like bargain $2 t-shirts. They're all stretched out and they look old, and they're always like wet for some reason, like he's drooling and dribbling on himself. Like his whole vibe is just like, ugh. He just has loser vibes too. I keep saying loser. I know I just talked about Gina as a loser, and it's probably a terrible thing to say, but I think like weak men who try to dominate strong women are just losers. That's how I feel. I couldn't have said it better myself. So he takes her to the airport. He feels like there's tension between them. He's worried that, quote, she's throwing them away. And there's trust issues. There's emotions all wrapped up in it. Well, no, the trust issues are only with you because you're insecure and you can't figure out why she's so secure with herself. So you're trying to bring her down. And I just think that it's ridiculous. That's what I think. I think it's ridiculous. So she makes a snack, you guys. And this is the other thing. You know how I get distracted sometimes, you guys, because I pay attention to all the things. And so she was cutting up fruit. She was doing cherries and melons or whatever as a snack before they go to the airport. So she does all this work. We watch her make this fruit plate. She sits down and her and Tony are having this conversation about their relationship, about the fight that they're having. But then she now needs to go to the airport. And so she's like, well, let me just put this fruit in the kitchen. And I'm like, but if you're going to be gone for 2 weeks, that fruit, you're going to just, what's happening with the fruit? Are you freezing it so you can put it in a smoothie? Like, it's little things like that. That's the production part of me. But like, I'm just trying to figure out what is it that you're doing and why do we have to watch this if you're just going to make that fruit go to waste? You know how much fruit is? I tell you guys about the $10 pack of strawberries that they were trying to sell me for $10. Listen, times are tough. I'm not about, no, we're not wasting any fruit. I don't see the chemistry between them. I just don't. I don't understand why they're even together. I don't understand why Vanya begged to be with this guy just so that she could say she's in a relationship and not be single. You can be single and fabulous rather than in a relationship and mediocre. That's how I feel. So he drives to the airport and they both say, love you, baby, see you soon. And my note literally says, why is this t-shirt always wet and dirty? I know I mentioned it earlier, but then I noticed again the next day, it's the same thing. And he's worried about her 2-week Euro trip because he feels like if he lost her, quote, he would be in shambles and it would break him. And that is the most honest thing that this fool has said. Okay? That's the most honest because he knows that she is out of his league. And if she leaves him, yes, he'll be in shambles because he's not all that, you guys. And she raises his value because she is all of that. She brings the sparkle. She brings the energy. She brings the ideas to the relationship, and he just shows up. Okay. And then he wants to control her. So he knows that 2 weeks away from him, where he can't degrade her, make her question herself, is going to make her realize, like, hey, why do I even want to be with this dude? Because he's trash. That's why even when she goes to Europe, she's calling her 24/7 because he wants to make sure that he's top of mind and that she doesn't have a good time and forget about him. And she realizes that and says, you know what? If he has another meltdown while I'm away, I don't think that our relationship is going to survive this. So she spends a week in Europe and she has been back and forth with Tony throughout the week. The second week, her and her cousin go to Ibiza. And their first night there, they're going to go see a DJ, have some fun, party. And Tony is calling her incessantly, just calling, texting, calling, and texting. She finally picks up. They're fighting all night. And you can imagine, you guys, how often do you get to go to Europe? How often do you get to go to see ex DJ? And your boyfriend back home won't let you have a good time because he needs the attention. He doesn't want your attention with your friends or having a good time or enjoying life. He needs you to stroke his ego because he's insecure. So he's calling and texting and calling and texting to the point where it's so distracting that you're not having fun over here because you're so busy fighting over here. And she misses the DJ because she spends all night fighting with Tony. And he's literally crashed out, you guys. And when I say that I've noticed in 2026 specifically that men are crashing out left, right, and center and not in a good way, Tony's one of them. So he's crashing out and he is whining, saying that he feels like she's not making him a priority. What are you talking about? She's on vacation. She's holidaying and you're tripping. You knew this. You took her to the airport. So what's the problem exactly? And he feels like she's not communicating with him enough. And just like a text here, text there is not good enough. He's not considering the time zone, not considering that she's on a holiday, not considering that she's on a holiday with her family member. He needs constant reassurance. That's not your mom. That's your girlfriend. And if you are not secure in yourself, someone else can't make you secure. They can't. He needs his ego stroked every hour, or else she's a bad person and she doesn't know how to communicate in a relationship. And this is not a partnership. I was like, what? He feels like she's not communicating with him. And then says to her that she wants to be single again, out partying and dancing. And I'm just saying he has trust issues and he's manipulative and he's insecure. And I don't know why women settle for this just to say you're in a relationship, because this sounds more stressful than anything. You can't even have a good holiday because your boyfriend doesn't know how to wipe his own butt. What? It made me mad, y'all. It was really, really, really quite terrible. Really, really, really quite terrible. Moving on to Courtney. Y'all, first of all, congratulations, Courtney. Spoiler alert. This new guy, I haven't met him yet because I'm still a little bit behind, but the new guy, she is engaged to. So congratulations. Thank God that you were able to get away from Colt, because Colt is the worst of the worst. So Courtney, she's shopping with her parents. They're in the grocery store, you guys, and I just laugh because the first thing she grabs is wine. The second thing she grabs is donuts. And if that's not comfort food, you guys, I don't know what is. Salute to wine. And her mom's like, we're supposed to be on a diet, and takes the donuts out of the cart, and I died of laughter. And the mom is like, we're gonna eat healthy type of thing, and the mom grabs some cabbage, and she's gonna make cabbage rolls. And you guys, fun fact, I love cabbage rolls. I have this cabbage recipe that I saw on Instagram that I want to make, and it's kind of like a deep fried cabbage, and it has like summer sausage in it, and onions and bell peppers, and it looks so delicious. And I'm gonna make it. I love it, and I love me a good cabbage roll. Do you guys like cabbage rolls? Wait, what? Oh, Jocelyn says that according to Reddit, Tony is a physician's assistant. That makes way more sense to me. Joslo, I believe that. I believe that. I believe that. Valskan says, I have no idea how Colty manages to get with all the ladies he does. Yeah, I don't know either. I'm not sure. And someone needs to explain it to all of us because it makes no sense. Olivia agrees with myself and Joslo, saying that makes more sense about Tony being a physician assistant rather than an actual physician. That makes way more sense. Like I feel good with that. That makes way more sense to me. So anyways, do you guys like cabbage rolls? I love cabbage rolls. And so Colt, we find out, because he got kicked out of Courtney's parents' house because they broke up, and he's a broke ass. So he goes to Brazil, right? Because he too is also a passport bro, but he has a specific fetish, and it's with Hispanic women specifically, and Brazilian women, if I want to break it down even more. Okay. So something about it, that's where his fetish is. So he has gone to Brazil to visit the girl that he was cheating on Courtney with, Diana. But he has to come back to Florida because his legs are all messed up and the ligaments in his knees need to be replaced. So he's coming back to Orlando for surgery. But her parents say, well, he's not welcome here. He can't stay at our house. He can't stay here. Now, here's the thing, ladies, that I need to know. I need to know because I just couldn't do it. First of all, you guys know me. Like, if you're going to be a cheater, I'm not the person to take you back. I just don't have that type of mentality. I just don't. It's over and I'm moving on. That's it. But Courtney is like, hey, we were really good friends, which I find hard to believe because you guys met on the latest episode. It wasn't like you guys were friends prior to that, but she says that, they're really close. And because of their deep relationship, that she has agreed to pick Colt up from the airport after he literally cheated on you and went to visit the girl he cheated on with you, Diana, went to visit her. And you're telling me that he's such a good friend that you're going to put that all to the side and you're going to take your car and pick this fool up? You're going to take time out of your day, knowing how expensive gas is. You're going to drive to the airport and pick this cheating, lying fool up because you care about him? I think I don't know. I think I probably missed that gene because it couldn't be me, y'all. It couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. Now I could forgive you from afar, right, Candy? Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me either. I think, Candy, you and I we missed that gene because listen, you better go and call an Uber. You better call, I don't know. You better ask Diana to come scoop you. I don't know. And I know Diana's in Brazil. I'm being ridiculous, but he's being ridiculous because you had the audacity to ask Courtney to pick you up after you cheated. And then Courtney said, yes, I'll pick you up. Y'all are crazy. Call Saul. Yes, you better call Saul. She tells her parents that, she's going to pick Colt up. She's agreed to pick Colt up. And her parents are like, you need to not revolve your life around him because he's using you. And that's absolutely it. He literally knows that if he asks you to do something, you're going to do it. And I got to tell you something. A lot of men are trash, especially the cheating men that cheat. They're going to continue to cheat. And if you take them back, then they know how much length they have on the rope. And every time you take them back, the rope gets longer and longer. Every time they do something shitty and you say, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it gets longer and longer. And they continue to do it because they know they can. So Colt knows that even though he lied to her, he cheated on her, they couldn't even get jiggy with it because he couldn't get it up for her. She nursed him, she bathed him, she shaved him, she dressed him, she fed him. The mom did his laundry like he's a little friggin' baby. For 3 months, he knows that if he calls, she'll come running. Absolutely not. Outrageous. And yes, it's disrespectful to the new boo. And Candy said, call Tyrone. Candy's on fire right now. So we hear Courtney say that she still loves him. And again, you guys, it just couldn't be me. It couldn't be me because Courtney, what's lovable about Colt? Colt has cheated on every woman that he's ever been with. Colt doesn't have a job. Colt doesn't even walk when he can walk. Yes, you have some torn ligaments, but you choose to sit in that wheelchair because you're lazy. I don't see you doing any physiotherapy. I don't see you doing any water aerobics. I don't see you trying to do anything. You just sit and eat and sit and slob and sit and cheat and sit and lie. And then you want all these beautiful women to cater to you. Even your mama won't take you back. Your mama won't let you come to Canada because she's like, you're not messing up my relationship because you're a mess. That's why she's begging Courtney to take him back because she doesn't want to deal with him. She knows her son is a loser. Loser number 3. We're on a roll, y'all. And if I'm wrong, let me know. But so far, between Colt, Gino, and Tony, we're batting 3 for 3 right now. So Courtney shows up at the airport to pick up Colt. She's made this sign that looked like an unhoused person sign that said Colty with an E and a letter A in red for the scarlet letter of a liar and cheater. And I died of laughter. And then she found some dead flowers that were given to her on a date and she forgot them in her trunk. And so she's giving Colt these dead flowers and this unhoused sign. And I want to just be like this. Courtney, I love that for you. I love that for you. I need you to keep that same energy for Colt all the time because Colt is terrible and he deserves to be dragged. He deserves to be trolled because he's the worst. She shows up and Colt has already arrived. So he's already gone through security because you know what, you guys, you know that he got on that plane. He ate all the snacks. He got escorted in his wheelchair. So he flew through security and he's sitting there, you guys, with his luggage all blobbed out in the wheelchair. Now, I'm trying to tell you that Colt can walk. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm saying Colt is an able-bodied man. He just chooses to be the victim because he likes to be taken care of. So he is manipulating the women in his life because they are caregivers. So my note says Colt's in the wheelchair looking a mess and he Courtney picks him up, and he has already been talking about how he had an amazing time in the beginning with Diana. They had amazing chemistry. But he loves Courtney still. And so that was like concerning to him. And he says things took a turn with Diana when he told her that he had to leave Brazil to come back to Orlando to have the surgery, but he made it seem like he was coming back to be with Courtney. And so things took a turn there when the relationship. But that's just him stroking his ego, thinking that these two beautiful women want to be with the slob. So he's playing them off against each other. Do you see how that is? You guys, do you see how this fool is manipulating? And like everyone in the live chat is saying, how does Colt manage to pull these beautiful women? Someone please explain it to me, because I know it's not the package downstairs because we've seen it. If you guys remember when Colt did his OnlyFans debut, and that just, the internet lost it, because when I say, oh Lord, when I say that it was micro, I mean, like, you see this earbud here? Just the earbud, not the cord, just the earbud. That's what we're talking about. So on top of all the things Colt does not do, work, support anyone, not even themselves, you can't say that they're eggplant-matized, because this is what he's working with. And I should really do it like this, because this part is the other part that I'm talking about. This is it. This is it. And I've seen it from my own eyes. And if you guys were part of my members' news and gossip, you guys have seen it too. Trash. So it can't be that. So how is he pulling these beautiful women all the time? Someone explain it to us, because we don't get it. We don't get it. And even his words and his manipulation, we're seeing past it. So what could it be? Someone has to explain to us so that at least we can understand. That being said, Courtney still loves him, and she can't understand why she's single and alone and he has a girlfriend. And that is the question that I know a lot of women ask themselves. They're beautiful, they're successful, they're loving, they're giving, they're supportive, they're all the things. And the guy is like trash and doesn't bring anything to the table, but they constantly have beautiful women by their side. And I can't even say it's like a sugar daddy situation, because Colt has no sugar. So no one knows what it is. Jocelyn says she remembers seeing his button. Indeed, a button. Indeed. So they're in the car, and I don't know if you guys saw the scene, but I was trying to figure out what kind of car is that, because there was no separate. It was like they were sitting in the back of like a Jutney. They were like, there was no separation between them. I don't know. I've just never seen a car like that. So I was curious to know what kind of car she has, because it was like there's no divider. They were just literally side by side like this, like a Jutney. I don't know. Anyway, she's driving him, and she's supposed to be taking him to his hotel. And while they're driving, Colt's having a lot of feelings and says, I still have a lot of feelings for you. And she's like looking at him. She's like, did you sleep with Diana? And he's like, yeah. And so she is pissed. She's like, you had all this dysfunction. You couldn't get it up for me. But meanwhile, you go to Brazil and you're having all this sexy time with Diana, and then now you want to say that you still love me. And then he's like, well, it's just really nice to see you again, and I just really still love you. Yeah, you want to stay at her house so that she can take care of you while you recover from this next surgery. Tell the truth, Colt. Tell the truth. You're trying to use her, and you're trying to manipulate her and gaslight her so that you have a full-time free nurse for yourself. Tell it like it is, because that's what it is. Courtney drops him off, but agrees to see him the next day. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but the irony of it all and the just disgusting behavior. First of all, Brazilian barbecue is amazing. And Brazilian steakhouses, absolutely so good. So that's where they go. He asked her to dinner and she agrees. So she goes out to dinner to this Brazilian spot the next day with him, and he is laying it out thick, you guys. He misses her, and even though he had a lot of sex with Diana, he was still missing his connection with Courtney. And I want to translate to you what that means. That means he's missing Nurse Courtney, who bathed him, cleaned him, fed him, shaved him. He's missing that. That's what he's missing. So when he says the connection part, that's what he's missing. And he wants to make sure that when he goes and has the surgery, that he has that same type of treatment, the free nurse treatment. He goes on to say that he really cares about her, and that is why he came back to Florida. Now, let's just take a breath here, because I want to talk so crazy right now, but I'm not going to. But I want you to see how much gaslighting this is. He cheats on Courtney. He goes to the woman's hometown in Brazil and stays with her. Uses that, because that woman is a victim too, okay? Uses Diana for her body and for all the good times that he is having with her. The only reason he leaves Brazil and the free riding that he's doing there is because he needs another surgery. And it's not mistake that he finds a surgeon in Orlando where Courtney is, because he's American. He could find any American surgeon anywhere in the good old United States of America, but goes back to Orlando, calls Courtney to pick him up, and wants to gaslight her and say that he cares about her, and that's why he came back to Orlando. Fool, you just cheated, and you're coming back from the girl that you said that you love, that you cheated with. You're just coming back from her literally right now. Courtney just picked you up from your cheating behavior, and you want to say that you came back to be with her. You better get out of here. You better get out of here with all of that nonsense. And then he goes on to say that, I love you, Courtney. I promise I won't disrespect or disappoint you again. And these are Courtney's words, not mine. This man has no shame. 100% he has no shame, you guys. He will just throw out the gaslighting, hope that you receive it, even though he is not the prize. He's bringing nothing to the table. He thinks his words are going to manipulate you into believing all the things. And that's why it is so important to just to love yourself and to believe in yourself, because these men will tell you anything. They will tell you anything. And guess what? They're telling everyone else that until someone takes the bait. They will tell you anything unless they really love you and have shown with their actions and words. They're throwing out all these words to everyone until someone catches on. So don't fall for it, you guys. Don't fall for the funk. Because Colt is the worst of them all. Well, no, Rick is the worst of them all, but Colt and Rick could be best friends for sure. Courtney says she's never getting back with him because she never wants to get duped by, her words, a lying, cheating, selfish man again. I also threw in a yuck, limp, jobless, lazy, gross, manipulative man. So yay, Courtney. I'm very proud of you for not falling for the nonsense, because it's all real nonsense. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, I've covered them. Gino. Oh, I need this one still. Daniel and Tony. Okay. I'll do Sophie real quick. There's not a lot to talk about Sophie. Sophie went on a date with this guy, Brian, who's 24. Sophie's 26, while she's in the Dominican Republic visiting Pedro, who invited her to his country to meet his family, who thought he was in an exclusive relationship. She decided that she was just dating. And so she allegedly met this guy on social media. I think that she just turned on one of the dating apps and put her location in, saw this cute guy, Brian, and like swiped or connected or whatever y'all do, and made a date with him. She thinks he's super handsome. She wants to have fun with him. She wants to be single in her 20s and just date a lot, which, you know, that's what you should do in your 20s. But if that's what you're going to do, then say that's what you're going to do and stop getting into these relationships. Stop telling these men that it's more than it is, and vice versa. If you are just trying to date, men, women, whatever, be honest and open and direct, and let the other person decide if this is something that they want to get into, that you're not being serious. And so if they just want to have fun, then allow them to make that choice on their own. And that's the problem I have with Sophie. They meet up. He's a bit nervous because he thinks she's so beautiful. He thinks she's gorgeous. He likes how she looks, likes how she dresses. It's totally his type, right up his alley. They have a little bit of small talk in Spanish. He owns a gym, and she is impressed by his physique and literally asks him to take his shirt off so that she can see his six-pack. And he does do that. And the vibe that so then he takes his shirt off, he puts it back on. They're like vibing, but I could tell that it was only like a physical connection, because there was no real communication happening. He's already talking about surface stuff, how she looks, how she dresses. He's 24. He's trying to like hit it and quit it. Like, you could see that that's the setup that I saw. And if I'm wrong, y'all let me know. But she sees the same thing. She's like, it's not a connection besides the physical. The conversation didn't flow. And in that, she literally says, in this moment, on this date that she set up, after she just told us that she wants to have fun and just date and be single, that she misses Pedro. Do you see how that's manipulative? Do you see how on the female side, that's manipulative as well? Because you're telling Pedro one thing, I don't want to be in a relationship with you, all this stuff. And every time you tell Pedro that, he pulls away, then you want to be with him more. When you go on another date and it's not to the standard, because don't forget, you guys, he's taken her on other trips. He bought her a $2,000 necklace. So every time that she's not getting that same standard right off the bat, she's missing Pedro. But is she missing Pedro because she wants to be with him, or she's missing the attention that he gives her and the other men are not giving her the same type of attention? I don't know. You tell me. They make out, her and Brian make out, and he wants to take her elsewhere. Basically, he wanted to go and hit it and quit it. She tells him that she has other plans with her friends, so she's just going to go back to her resort. And that was the end of her date. Last and certainly not least is Kim and Jamal. It's so interesting to see the filming and the timing of this. So it's Christmas, it's the holiday season. When they're filming this, they're trimming the tree. Christmas is her favorite holiday, and it reminds her of her mom, which we know her mom passed in the last few years, and she was very close to her mom. So now Christmas is just really about her and Jamal. And Larry, right? Her adopted son, who's now part of her life. And she's really happy about that. They FaceTime a lot, you know, they connected and all this stuff. But one of the things that I did see that I don't know if I'm just being extra picky is that you put up all of these Christmas decorations, and you put up, why can't I think of it? You put up your Christmas stocking, and it's you and Jamal, but you didn't put up your new Larry or your new grandkids. Like, you didn't put up one for them. And so I just thought that was a little telling, and I might just be nitpicking, but it was something I noticed, and Larry noticed it too. Larry's like, am I going to get a stocking? And I agree, it should have been included already. Like, if we're really saying I'm embracing this and this is my new family and I'm really trying to make connections, those are the little things that matter, in my opinion. What do you guys think? So they're FaceTiming with Larry. Kim tells her two sons that she's going to England because she's met this guy, Wayne. So she tells them, both of them are like, hey, listen, this is something you do. You go to other countries to meet men. We want you to stay neutral. We want you to not get so wrapped up. And because she gets wrapped up, she's like, well, maybe it's a good idea if Jamal comes with me. And Jamal agrees to go. So Jamal and Kim are going to England to meet her new friend, Wayne. And why I say friend, you guys, is because you know how I feel. If you have not met someone in real life and spent real life time with you, that is not your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your partner. None of it. That's your online friend. That's your online pen pal. You don't know them. You don't know anything about them. You don't know how they live. So these like, oh, I'm in this long distance relationship. Oh, how long have you been in this long of a date? Oh, 6 months. Oh, yeah. When was the last time you were there? Oh, you've never met? Just stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. That's your online friend. Jazzo says actions speak louder than words, 100%. So we also find out that, she's looking for her third child that she gave up for adoption. And we find out that she reached out to the adoption company, and they've had a letter that's 10 pages long that was delivered in 1998, November 26, 1998. And I just thought it was interesting because she never once in all of these 30 plus years reached out to the agency, because that letter has been sitting there for 30 years and they kept it. And so I thought it was interesting now that she reached out, but this letter is 30 years old. But they read the letter, and Kim got really emotional because they're naming this child R, and they're reading the letter, and we find out that in January of 1993, that's when R went home with the adopted family. So 1993, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. Okay, so let's say the kid R is 6 when the adoptive family writes this letter. So in the 6 years prior to that, no contact. And then 30 years goes by, and then that's when Kim reaches out. And so this letter has been sitting there for 30. I just find it interesting. Not like, just never curious, never like, hey, I wonder how, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a mom. I don't know. But I would be curious just because I'm nosy. But I don't know. Anyways, we find out little things about the 6-year-old from 1998, that she liked pasta and veggies. She goes to a private school, and she was like raised properly, according to this letter. But again, the letter's 30 years old, so we don't know. She's lived a whole life, right? But we do find out a little bit about her, or at least her childhood. We find out a little bit about her childhood. I don't know. I want to do a whole show on adoption, because I find it fascinating. I do. So it's later. Kimberly and Jamal are in London, Derbyshire, and they land. They get picked up by a car service. They have a 2 to 3 hour drive where Wayne lives, and they're excited to meet him. Kimberly and him have been talking for the last 3 months. Jazel said, not once looked up her kids in 30 years. I, I, I just I wonder. I just wonder how that. I think that had to have been a very heavy thing to hold on to and not be curious about. Yeah. So they're on their way, and if you've ever been to England, you know it's beautiful. The scenery is beautiful. Jamal makes a funny comment. He's like, "If Wayne lives in a castle, I'll absolutely start calling him dad immediately," which I thought was hilarious. They drive by Windsor Castle. They get out and tour it, and they're both having fun with the British accents. And one of the things and so they're waving, right? And I don't know how true this is, but here's what I learned. I was at church this past Sunday. Well, it was on Saturday, actually. Anyways, I was at church this past weekend, and I don't know how we started talking about it, but we were talking about like just the royals and all of this stuff. And I was told that the actual royal wave is this. It's not this. It's this. And the reason why it's like this is that the royal family said that you're not supposed to turn your palms towards the quote peasants because the money will unflow in your hand. And I was like, I've never heard that. And if that's true, that's terrible. Because also, you know, all the whole colonizer of it all. But has anyone else heard that's why they're supposed to wave like this with the palm towards them and not outwards? Has anyone else heard that? Curious if it's true. I know I could Google it, but I have you guys. So they get to their hotel and Kim checks in, and at the check-in we find out that Wayne is truly a gentleman. He has flowers for her waiting for her check-in. He's bought a hat for Jamal. And that was all just waiting at the hotel for her arrival. And I love this for her. I love this for her because she, after the loser 2x4 that she dated for so long, that was this trash, who's also, by the way, Usman is in America. He's in Atlanta with his new girlfriend, you guys. He finally made it to America. And that means he's going to be insufferable, and we're going to have to suffer through him arriving in America in some crazy future season that I am definitely not looking forward to seeing his face. That being said, I love this for her. It looks like Wayne is actions and word, like Joslo said so far. And I have to tell you, so she calls him to thank him. She's arrived, all of that. And you guys, a little thing about me, I love a British accent. The accent alone, I love it. She's nervous to meet Wayne in real life because in the past, men have made her feel insecure about herself. And she just wants to meet someone that makes her feel wanted and attractive and desirable and loves her for her despite her flaws. And I think everyone wants that, right? Everyone wants to feel loved and be loved for who they are, flaws and all, because none of us are perfect. And so I want that for her. I love that for her. And I hope that this Wayne guy, and it looks like it is. It looks like this relationship is lasting, you guys. So maybe Kimberly will be moving to the UK soon. But I love that for her because everyone deserves to be loved the way they need to be loved. So they meet up the next day for their little date, and they have good vibes. She thinks he's very handsome. He thinks she smells good and that she's prettier in real life than she is in video. And he's like, you know, we need to get to know each other, see if there's going to be that sexual spark and chemistry between us. But he's vibing right now and he's loving it right now. So good for them. And he picks her up in his work van. She goes in on the wrong side because she's used to the other way and the other way of the car. But he's planned a whole date for her and gives her a hint. He says, oh, it has wheels. And then she says, is it a boat? And I don't, dear America, hello? What boat has wheels in America? Please tell me, because I was confused. That Kimberly, what boat are you guys talking about? You Americans just kill me. Like, what? Okay. But no, he says, okay, it has wheels and steam. And then she guesses that it's a train. And they're in Rosley, and he takes her on a train ride. And you guys, it was so cute. It was a tea time train ride. So it was scones and eclairs and tea as you are on this train with the conductor, the whole thing. It was amazing. And it was such a great first date. And she asks him, are you dating anyone else? And he says, no, I'm only dating her. And this is where, women, I need you guys to not throw out your insecurities. She's like, why are you not in a relationship? Because you seem like you're a great guy. If you ask the question should be, are you looking to date exclusively, or are you just dating to have fun and for companionship? That should be the question. It shouldn't be, well, why are you not with anybody? Even as women, when men are like, well, why don't you have a boyfriend? It's such an insecure question to ask, right? Just if you're single yourself, why don't you have a girlfriend? It's like same thing. Right? You're trying to think that there's something wrong with that person, but really it's your insecurity that you're projecting onto the other person. If you want to know if this person wants to be serious moving forward, the question to be is, are you dating for exclusivity? Are you dating to meet someone long term? Are you dating just to have fun? Like, where are you in your dating situation? And if you haven't been dating in the past, why is that? Did you take time off? And he said that exact thing. He's like, well, I wasn't actively looking, and that's why I'm not in a relationship. And then he finally decided that he was actively looking, and that's why he's dating now. Y'all do better. Ask better questions, and don't throw your insecurities onto other people. It's just not a good look. Anyways, we're caught up. That was season 5, episodes 11 and 12 of 90 Day The Single Life. There's one more episode that we cover before we get to the tell-all. I'm enjoying it. What do you guys think? Are you guys enjoying it? We're going to be covering the new season of 90 Day Fiancé, as well as The Last Resort. I'm excited about 90 Day Fiancé because there's a bunch of new people that we don't know, and they all seem age appropriate. So that should be a good look. You guys don't forget to like and subscribe to all things 90 Day The Melanated Way, including my own personal Linda Is So Girly, all across social media. And I'll see you guys soon. We'll be back in a couple of days covering all the things 90 Day. And again, I really do appreciate your support with the Netflix stuff, you guys. You've really shown love, and I appreciate it. So till next time, toodles!